what a sick person you have to be to want to say, geez, I'll really enjoy ruining people's lives and throwing not mostly nonviolent criminals to the ground and separating them from their families and somehow take an enjoyment out of that. So the guy joining us on the show right now, I grew up with his music. I think I've been listening to his music ever since I was like in middle school. And I'm 45 years old now. He is the former lead guitar player of the band 9 Inch Nails. And of course, longtime lead singer and original founder of the band Filter, my friend, Richard Patrick, joining us right now on the show. Richard, it's good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
It's good to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, my friend. Loud and clear. I don't mean to make you sound old, Richard, but I have been listening.
Look at me, dude. Are you kidding? I got gray hair.
I don't have any hair, so you got me beat there. I don't have any.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Look great.
Congratulations, by the way, on the new album that's out. We'll certainly talk about that. For the record, I just want to be clear. Your house has never been raided by the FBI, right?
No.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make that
note to self.
Just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
You know, you've always been opinionated when it comes to world issues and stuff, but I wanted to tell you a story and get your thoughts on this. Aaron Lewis, the lead singer of the band Stained, who I consider to be a complete and utter douchebag. I'm seeing his show last month. And after every song, he's making it about a politics. Every song, he says, God bless Donald Trump and God bless J.D. Vance. And I just wanted to vomit. Like, what do you make of musicians these days doing that?
On one hand, like the band like The Clash, a band like U2, a band like, John Lennon, Bruce Springsteen. I think it's extremely bold and awesome. I used to be extremely opinionated too politically, and then I started getting death threats, and I couldn't really. I had to keep my mouth shut because they kind of backed me into a corner. You're alienating half of your audience, when you get really political, and the reality is how many minds are you going to change? You know what I mean? And I think Aaron he's probably making a mistake, and he's probably, I mean, I know he wants to speak out and everything like that, but I think he's probably alienating a good chunk of his audience, because at the end of the day, I mean, I hate to say it, but we are singers, and we are people that are supposed to bring a little happiness to the world. That's what I realized, is that, it's because of the death threats, it made me realize, like, there's just some people you can't connect with.
That's true.
And you're an expert. Like, you are on the right side of history. You're an expert at confronting, and hero in my view, for confronting.
Nice. Thank you.
No, it's we are in dark times. We are in very, very dark times. And
Richard, this isn't even a political issue. It's just a compassion issue, right? I mean, what do you make of, people not getting due process in this country? And I think of people that are living paycheck to paycheck that are struggling, right? And they're going to lose Medicaid. Many of them are going to lose their food stamps. It's not even really a political issue. Isn't it a compassion issue?
The first thing that Elon Musk did in Doge was get rid of the USAID. And that is the organization that is probably 0.1% of the budget that feeds the poorest people on earth, like the poorest people on earth. And how many people are going to die from that? And
tons.
And it's just awful. We used to be like a compassionate country just 4 years ago, or 2 years ago. And now it's just this dark, abysmal, sad place. And I love America with all my heart. And I love everything that this country stands for. And I think, and we're a country that has made horrible mistakes, with slavery and the genocide with the Native Americans, and um, the fact that they're getting rid of that and the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. And sure, we have to be positive, and we want to have good thoughts about the great things about this country, but we have to reflect on where we've been, because we're doomed to make, if you forget your past, you're doomed to make the same mistakes.
Mhm.
And I just I just think that I just think a lot of MAGA is very destructive, and I think that we really, really need to like loosen up and talk to each other and be compassionate towards each other and learn how to listen. I I mean, the idea that woke is, is a bad thing and all this stuff, and it's just woke is being aware of racial prejudice. That's all
Right.
it means.
Right.
That's
Right.
all it is.
It's awareness, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of what
Yeah,
you're. I agree with you. So if people want to call me woke, they can go to hell. As far as I don't care.
yeah,
Fine, call
yeah.
me woke. I don't care. I mean, I just look at what's going on in this country right now, and obviously, music is one of those things that really brings us together. At least in my eyes, in my personal opinion. But think about it. If I told you, 10 years ago that a reality TV star, guy that was a reality TV star, would be the president of the United States, and all this stuff would be going on in this country, Richard, would you believe me?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. And the other thing is that the fascistic behavior of this administration is quite alarming. And I just, it makes me, the wonderful thing is I have lyrics, and I don't need to explain my lyrics to anybody. I
Right.
can have lyrics about anything I want, and I am so grateful that I'm allowed to pour my political thoughts into my lyrics. And I implore people to listen to my music, maybe to learn something and not be alienated, but like, we're all on this tiny little ball in space, and it is a we are to the point where we're polluting it, we're hurting it. And we need to really, because that's my issue, is the environment. I really care about, the environment. The attack on just science, from the right, is just appalling to me. It's just like, dudes, we have climatologists and astrophysicists telling us what we're doing by burning all these carbon fuels, all these, and just the lack of care, and you know, you you know, I mean, I buy a Tesla and the guy turns out to be a nut, you know what I mean? And I
It is
it's just,
interesting.
we live in a crazy world. It
Yeah.
is bizarre. It is a bizarre,
Mhm.
strange place. And up is down, down is up, and blue is red, and red is blue. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah, of course.
and
Richard, you're a family man, right? You have a beautiful family. Can you
mhm,
imagine what it must be like for some of these undocumented immigrants that are
yeah,
trying to do it the right way, that are being ripped away from their family right outside a courtroom or in front of a Home Depot? I mean, you're a good
yeah,
father, you're a good husband.
yeah.
Like, imagine what these people are going through.
Is it going to get to a point where I'm going to have to say to an ICE agent, "Hey, man, my guys came over way after, about a few ships after the Mayflower, and my great grandfather was Jacob Patrick, and he fought in the Revolution." Do I have to explain myself? You know what I mean? Am I going to have to get to a place where are we going to have to get to a place where we have documented, you know, trajectory to when we came over, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just so sad that it's not an inclusive, wonderful country where like, hey, okay, you're from another country. Well,
Yeah.
the brain drain that is going to happen with people. Did you hear about the guy that taught at Harvard and now he's
Mhm.
fed up and he's moving to Toronto?
Yeah.
It's a brain drain.
Yeah.
You as opposed to getting people excited about coming to America and being smart here in America with exchange students and colleges and stuff like that. We're freaking people out. Look what's happened to Nevada.
Mhm.
Nevada is experiencing a tourism drought, and
Yeah.
the reality is Canadians are afraid to come to America.
Yep.
Canadians.
Mhm. You're right. They are.
I mean, they're afraid to come down to
I get
Vegas
people
and
that call into this show from Canada. 20% of my listeners are from Canada. I get people calling in all the time that say that they don't want to come here right now.
yeah, and this is not the message that
No, it's not.
it should be an inclusive, wonderful place where everybody gets there's three things in my opinion as far as political. Number one, this is our small little planet. We have to take care of it. Number two, I forget what number two is. Number three, everybody deserves a fair shot. Like everybody, all people deserve a fair shot in life. And that's what America was to me. That's what America is all about,
Yeah.
is that we are trying to help each other. And it doesn't matter if you're Christian, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Muslim or a Satanist or whatever. You are we should all work together and solve the problems of the world. I mean, if I could make a wish, if I met the genie in the bottle, the first thing I would wish for is that people would learn how to get along and work on the problems of the world, and put away their differences and work together to solve the problems of the world. And
Yeah.
that's all we need to do. And it's so tit for tat and I gotcha and I mean, it's just wild.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom is tweeting like Trump, and it's hysterical.
It is.
And it's funny because Fox News is like what why is he doing that? And it's like, are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
he's doing it to show you what we've been dealing with for the past 10 years
Yeah.
is from Truth Social. He's tweeting like this crazy man from like, and he's
Mental
supposed to
health.
be this authentic president, and it's like, are you kidding? He's a little wacky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At a
To put it
minimum.
lightly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, again, I'm not like some extreme leftist or something like that, but I just believe that, and I don't think it's both sides. I don't think it's both sides. I think that's a false equivalent. I think the right is really, really,
Oh,
they
yeah.
are very extreme right now.
There was a
And
time where Republicans and Democrats were able to sit down and talk civilly and
yeah,
disagree, but maybe meet somewhere in the middle. That time is gone. On a lighter note, do you? Because you've been around a while. Not to compare you to Dean Cain, because you're very different than Dean Cain and you're far more talented. But do you know Dean Cain? What happened to this guy? He wants to be an ICE agent now.
yeah, I met him briefly here at the production place they did a movie called Little Angels. And he seemed like just a nice guy. I watched his movie and I gave him some pointers on what I thought was lacking in the film, or I thought it was a great little movie. But yeah, ICE and all the stuff he's getting involved in, it's just wild. I mean,
Yeah.
and for his career, I don't know how good that was. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably not smart, but Fox News loves it. They have him on all the time. Can you imagine? And I'm just going to be honest, what a sick person you have to be to want to say, geez, I'll really enjoy ruining people's lives and throwing mostly nonviolent criminals to the ground and separating them from their families and somehow take an enjoyment out of that. And then Dr. Phil is there with his microphone. And look, Obama deported a lot of people, but they weren't gloating about it. They didn't have Dr. Phil there. They weren't taking people out of
Yeah.
classrooms and schools and synagogues and churches. It seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, the people that are doing this, it's like they enjoy it, like they get off on it.
Yeah. It's wild. It's a very strange, and I mean, I'm sure Dean's, he was a really nice guy to me. I think he believes that, like, oh no, these guys are bad hombres, or as they've been described and all that. And it's just like, wow, do you really think that, like, the guy that produced three Marines, his sons became Marines? You think that guy should be arrested and deported? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I get that you can't be here illegally, but, like, wow.
Yeah.
You're
It's
just gonna, and it's just this, America was this inclusive, bring me your tired, the Statue of Liberty, the poem at the bring me your tired, you're poor, you're weak, and your huddled masses. And it just, when I was a kid, that's what we were growing up with.
yep.
Like, even from the Republican side, even from Reagan. I mean, he talked about the shining, city on the hill, and it's just become this alienating, xenophobic place. And so I hope I haven't really gotten too political. I'm sure my manager is probably going to call me and be like, "What's up, dude?" But the
No.
reality is
Yeah.
the reality is I love America, and I'm sickened by what I've seen in the last 10 years, because of this fascistic, autocratic behavior, and weaponizing the FBI, like
Yeah.
all this stuff. And
John Bolton being his home was raided today.
yeah, and you know we had an election denier sit there and lie about an election
Right.
with no facts. 60 courts came up and said, hey, there's no evidence of wide-scale voter fraud.
Right.
And then January 6th happens, and no one's held accountable for that.
Nope.
And
Right.
and they said that we were weaponizing, or the left, or whoever, the people, Merrick Garland, who took way too long to do anything. He was just actually, I mean, this is what Mitch McConnell said to do, which was to, hold him accountable outside of impeachment. But what's impeachment for? Like, they were partisan when when he wasn't impeached. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the Senate should have done the right thing, and said, and held, Trump accountable for all the misdoings that he did. And
Right.
it's just wild.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean,
extremely.
it's just
Yeah.
wild. And I love this country with all my heart, and
I know you do.
I and I love the people in it. And I've I can't, politics has become like, I can't talk politics with members of my family. Like, I can't talk politics with friends of mine, some of them. And
Oh yeah.
it's just like, and the stuff that you hear is just, it's just
It's
mind
terrible.
blowing.
I
And the
wanted to ask you.
bubbles, the
I,
two bubbles,
yeah. Oh, no question.
the left
Yeah.
bubble and the right bubble. and
Right.
and
Yeah.
I I try and watch real news that is, reflective of the reality of what's happening.
Right.
And I mean, I realize there probably was a slight bias, for legacy media, but at the same time, it's all about holding the
Yeah.
government accountable. And
Right.
Watergate and everything like that happened was gigantic. And now it's like there's a new Watergate every other day with this administration.
Oh, every day. Right.
There's an abuse of power
Mhm.
every 5 minutes, especially with the Michael Bolton, or the John Bolton thing.